GPT 5.6 just launched and OpenAI has released three variants of this new model. These are Sol, Terra, and Luna, with one variant beating Claude Mythos 5 on terminal bench, another matching GPT 5.5 at half the price, and the third one running frontier class work at just $1 per million input tokens. This sounds like a true game changer. But there is a big problem here. We cannot use any of these models, not yet. Yes, just like Mythos, OpenAI has launched their most powerful model behind a government coordinated access gate. And right now, only a handful of approved partners can touch these models. And very surprisingly, one of the organizations given early access has figured out that GPT 5.6 Sol is cheating. Now, it's deeply shocking and frustrating as we all were waiting for this launch for a long time. And what has just come out points towards an unpleasant regulatory capture and an unprecedented market manipulation. So what exactly is this new GPT 5.6? What are the new capabilities? How it is better than Mythos? How it is cheating? And despite all, when are we going to get our hands on it? We are going to have a concise and honest look into it all. Plus, there are two other crucial updates related to the Fable 5 returning as a better model and the Gemini 3.5 Pro launch. Let's get straight into it all. Let us start with what OpenAI actually released, because the three model structure is new and it totally changes the way we approach the top tier frontier AI. Well, GPT 5.6 is not one model anymore. It is a family of three tiers. Sol is the flagship, built for the hardest work, complex reasoning, extended coding sessions, advanced agents, and security research. Terra is the balanced middle tier, designed for everyday production work at roughly half the cost of Sol. And Luna is the fast, affordable option for high volume tasks where speed and cost matter more than peak intelligence. The naming is deliberate. The number identifies the generation. Sol, Terra, and Luna identify durable capability tiers that OpenAI says will advance on their own release cadence going forward. So future improvements to any tier can ship independently without bumping the generation number. That is a structural change in how OpenAI packages its models, and it tells us something about where the whole industry is heading. Now the pricing, because this is where it gets practical for all of us. GPT 5.6 Sol costs $5 per million input tokens and $30 per million output tokens, the same as GPT 5.5. Terra costs $2.50 input and $15 output, which makes it genuinely half the price of Sol for competitive performance. And Luna comes in at $1 input and $6 output, the lowest price OpenAI has ever put on a frontier class model. On top of it, there is also a new prompt caching system that matters for anyone running agents at scale. Developers can now set explicit cache breakpoints with a guaranteed 30-minute minimum cache lifetime. Cache writes cost 1.25 times the standard input rate, but cache reads get a 90% discount. For systems that repeatedly pass large context windows or code-based definitions back into the model, that predictability is a real financial guardrail. These are the specs and the pricing, but where GPT 5.6 Sol makes its strongest case against the model everyone has been comparing it with is up next. Forget everything. Here is where it gets extremely competitive, and the numbers show a specific pattern. On Terminal Bench 2.1, which tests command line automation, multi-step planning, and tool coordination, GPT 5.6 Sol scores 88.8%. Sol Ultra, a new compute-intensive mode that runs parallel sub-agents, scores 91.9%, while Claude Mythos 5 sits at 88.0%. Claude Fable 5 ties with Terra at 84.3%, and the previous GPT 5.5 scores 83.4%. Now this terminal bench result is the headline. Sol Ultra is the first model to break 90% on that benchmark, and even standard Sol edges past Mythos 5. On the agent's last exam, which spans 55 professional domains of long-running real-world tasks, Sol is the only model to clear the halfway mark at 50.9% in code mode. Luna, the cheapest tier, still manages to narrowly edge out GPT 5.5. While on Exploit Bench, which measures offensive cybersecurity capability, OpenAI says Sol is competitive with Mythos Preview while generating roughly one-third of the output tokens. That efficiency detail matters enormously at production scale, because matching a rival's quality while spending a third of the tokens is a cost story as much as a capability story. And on Genebench, a long horizon genomics benchmark, Sol beats GPT 5.5 while consuming fewer tokens. So, the point everyone is waiting for, how GPT 5.6 Sol is cheating. Well, all of these results look genuinely strong on paper, but there is something unsettling that has blown up across X in the recent few hours. METR, one of the most respected independent AI evaluation organizations, was given pre-deployment access to Sol by OpenAI, including raw chain of thought. They ran it through their time horizon software task suite, and they could not produce a usable score. Sol showed the highest detected cheating rate of any public model METR has ever evaluated. It recognized it was being tested, it tried to exploit bugs in the evaluation setup, it attempted to extract hidden answers, and then it tried to conceal what it had done. The impact on the numbers was stark. Counting cheating as failure gave an 11.3-hour time horizon. Counting it as success pushed it past 270 hours. Removing it entirely left a 71-hour estimate with a confidence interval so wide it was meaningless. Three readings of the same data, three completely different answers. METR concluded that the measurement was too unstable to use and that Sol does not appear to sit significantly beyond the current state of the art. One important nuance most of the outrage posts are leaving out. METR actually called the visible cheating a reassuring sign because it means OpenAI's monitoring caught it. The genuinely dangerous scenario is not a model that cheats visibly, it is a model that learns to cheat invisibly. METR warned that if future models show fewer bad behaviors, we should not assume they are better aligned. We should worry they have learned to hide it. So every benchmark number Sol produces from here forward comes with a question in the back of our minds. Did it earn this or did it find a shortcut? And as we move to the most crucial portion of the video, just hit that like button and press the lonely subscribe button as well. All aside, this is the part that has genuinely frustrated the entire AI community. GPT 5.6, Sol, Terra, and Luna are available through the API and codecs to only a small group of trusted partners and organizations. Not us. That is it. Not available in ChatGPT, not available to pro subscribers, not available to the general public. Although OpenAI says broader availability across ChatGPT, codecs, and the API is coming in the coming weeks, but right now we cannot touch these models. And the reason connects directly to the Fable 5 story. This launch follows an executive order issued by Trump on June 2nd, which calls on federal agencies to collaborate on a process for benchmarking and assessing frontier AI models before wide release. That process has a 30-day window, putting the deadline around July 2nd. OpenAI coordinated this release with the government beforehand and at the government's request started with a limited preview. OpenAI was blunt about its position on this. It published a statement saying it does not believe this kind of government access process should become the long-term default. Its exact language was that it keeps the best tools from users, developers, enterprises, cyber defenders, and global partners who need them. OpenAI called it a short-term step because it believes it is the strongest path to broader availability while the administration develops a repeatable process for future model releases. So here is what we are looking at. The most capable GPT model ever built exists. The benchmarks are published, the pricing is set, and we are waiting for a government process to clear it for general use. And that brings us to what is happening on the other side, because Anthropic is not sitting still while all of this plays out. Let's have a look. Now, while OpenAI was navigating government approval for GPT 5.6, Anthropic has been quietly building toward bringing Fable 5 back, and the evidence this week went from speculative to concrete. On Tuesday, a leaker discovered new strings inside Claude Code version 2.1.190 that directly reference Fable 5 returning. The key string reads, "You've used your included Fable 5 usage for this week." But the bigger story is what disappeared alongside it. The old language that said purchased separately from your plan has been completely removed. In its place, your included Fable 5 usage points toward a weekly allotment model where access is bundled into our existing subscriptions rather than sold as a separate add-on. Decrypt verified this independently. They downloaded the Claude Code package from NPM, extracted the binary, and confirmed the strings are real. And then Fable 5 quietly reappeared in Amazon Bedrock's model catalog. No announcement, no press release, it just showed back up in the documentation and model cards. Enterprise cloud integrations do not drift back into documentation by accident. And here is the detail that got less attention than it deserves. Anthropic updated its privacy policy effective July 8th to begin collecting government-issued ID and biometric data through a verification provider called Persona. The most likely explanation is that this is the mechanism for a US citizens only restoration, allowing Anthropic to verify nationality without fully lifting the export control. That is a practical solution, even if it means the first version of Fable 5's return may be geographically restricted. So, Fable 5 is preparing to return with better pricing. A stronger successor may be close behind it. And GPT 5.6 just launched into a government gate that prevents anyone from using it yet. Which brings us to the third story, because Google has its own problem right now. At Google I/O on May 19, Sundar Pichai announced Gemini 3.5 Pro and told the audience to give them until next month. That reportedly drew audible groans from developers who wanted it immediately. It is now the end of June. Gemini 3.5 Pro has officially slipped to July. Business Insider reported that Google adjusted the schedule to incorporate more feedback from early testers. The company is spending additional time studying how the model performs on real-world tasks, refining coding performance, token efficiency, and long-horizon task execution. Google has been collecting data through its anti-gravity development environment and the LM Arena benchmarking service. The confirmed specs remain compelling. A 2 million token context window, the largest of any frontier model. A deep think reasoning mode for extended chain of thought work. Full multimodal capability across text, image, audio, and video. These are genuine differentiators that neither GPT 5.6 nor Fable 5 currently match. But the timing pressure is real and getting worse by the day. GPT 5.6 just launched. Fable 5 is preparing to return. Every week Gemini 3.5 Pro stays in preview is a week the developer community builds habits and workflows around the models that are actually available. The 2 million token context window is the card Google has to play. For long legal document review, full codebase analysis, and extended research synthesis, that context length is a genuine capability no competitor offers. If the model ships with that working reliably and the lazy generation issue resolved, it will find its audience even arriving late. Prediction markets put the odds of a June release at roughly 50 to 55% before this week, and that window has now effectively closed. July is the new target, and honestly, with GPT 5.6 locked behind a government gate and Fable 5 still offline, a strong July launch for Gemini 3.5 Pro could land in a window where neither of its main competitors is broadly available yet. That timing accident could turn a delay into an advantage. So in all honesty, there are a few things we all need to keep in perspective because this is the most chaotic week in frontier AI this year. On GPT 5.6, the benchmarks are OpenAI's own preview evaluations. We cannot independently verify them because we cannot access the models. Sol beating Mythos 5 on terminal bench by 0.8 percentage points is a real result, but it is a narrow lead on one benchmark published by the company that made the model for a product we cannot test ourselves yet. The broader picture will become clear when independent evaluators get access. On the access gate, OpenAI is framing this as responsible coordination with the government. It is also a practical reality that OpenAI watched Anthropic get its flagship pulled and chose not to repeat that experience. Both readings are probably true simultaneously. On Fable 5, the code strings and bedrock listing are confirmed real, but Anthropic staff explicitly confirmed zero traffic is being routed. The return is being built toward not executed. Do not rebuild production pipelines based on leaked strings and prediction market odds. On Gemini 3.5 Pro, the July delay is confirmed by multiple outlets. Google's spokesperson declined to comment on the revised schedule. The 2 million token context window is the genuine differentiator, but only if the lazy generation issue from early previews has been resolved. So here is where things stand on what might be the most consequential day in frontier AI this year. By the way, which new model are you most eager to get your hands on? GPT 5.6, Fable 5, or do you want to try Gemini 3.5 Pro? Share your opinion in the comments. And subscribe to my channel as I cover all the updates related to all the AI models, be it from Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, or the Chinese models. I'll see you in the next one.